Hi everybody. Last time I did a video about how to change the oil in your car, and at that point I discovered a leak in the camshaft sensor. Today we're going to fix that. Here's how. Right, so welcome back to the channel guys. Thank you for being here. I really appreciate your support. As I said earlier, last time I did a video about how to change the oil in your car, every step required to do that job. And if you want to see that video, just go ahead and click on the link and it'll take you right there. But at the end of that procedure, I discovered a couple of leaks. One of them is a coolant leak, one of them is a power steering leak, one of them is a camshaft sensor leak. So plenty more how-to DIY videos to come on this car. And the first one we're going to tackle is the cam sensor, because it's making a bit of a mess on this left bank of the engine. So I'm going to take you through every step required to do this job, and if you like the content you're seeing on this channel, don't forget to subscribe and click the bell so that you'll see when I post up something new. Alright, let's get going. Okay, firstly you'll need a new camshaft position sensor to replace the leaking unit. You will need torque wrench to tighten down the bolt holding the camshaft sensor to the engine. You'll need a few extensions and a wrench, a 10mm spanner to undo your battery terminal, a small flat blade screwdriver for prying on things, a T40 and a T25 socket, a 13mm and a 10mm socket. Now I just make note that most of the tools here are needed to remove parts under the hood to allow me to clean up the oily mess that the leaking camshaft sensor has made. If you don't want to do the cleaning procedure, then really these are the only tools you'll need. A 10mm socket and wrench to take the camshaft sensor bolt out, and a torque wrench to tighten it back down when you put it back in. But if you're like me and you want to keep your engine bay tidy, also have some paper towel or rags handy, some degreaser, a small brush or old toothbrush for agitating dirt, and some safety glasses and gloves for protection. So because I'll be doing a bit of cleaning, the first thing I'll do is position my car outside of the garage so that I don't get the garage floor dirty. Having my engine pointed outside like this will allow me to just hose off my driveway afterwards, which is a lot easier than cleaning the garage floor. As you can see, my distributor and other bits around in here are covered in oil from the leak, all caused by this camshaft position sensor. So to make sure I do a thorough job, the first thing I'll do is disconnect and remove the battery and battery box. And I'll leave a link here on how to do that. And also the air intake assembly will be removed, and again I'll leave a link here to the video on how to do that. With those two items out of the way, I've now got good access to this side of the engine where all the oil is. You can see how this one small sensor has coated this side of the engine bay in oil and all the way around to where the sensor is. I'll go ahead and remove the HT leads, the distributor and its brackets so we can give this area a thorough clean, and then we'll go ahead and remove the camshaft sensor and replace it. So let's start by removing the HT leads and move them out of the way. Make sure you keep a note of the order that the leads attach to your distributor. There is a full video here that you can follow that I've made on how to replace your HT leads if you need a detailed guide on that. With the HT leads out of the way, go ahead and disconnect the plug leading to your distributor, and then using your T25 socket, undo the 4 bolts holding in the distributor and remove it from your engine. With the distributor removed, you can now see why I've gone to this extent. All of this oil is just pulled here, covering a lot of electrical wiring and plugs, which I'm not a big fan of. I'll take an extra step here and also remove the distributor bracket so that I can clean this area thoroughly. Using a T40 socket, I went ahead and removed the 3 bolts holding the bracket on, and we're ready to clean up this mess. I start with wiping down the area with a paper towel first to remove the larger areas, and then using degreaser and being very careful about where I spray the degreaser. I cover the oily areas and let it soak for a few seconds. Then taking a small brush or old toothbrush, just agitate the dirt to help it come off. Give everything another squirt of degreaser and let it soak. After a minute or so, go ahead and wash off the degreaser with water. Use low pressure, be very selective about where you point the water, and take your time to get all the grease off. Once that's done, use some old rags, or in my case compressed air, to get most of the water off of your engine. Then give the car about 30 minutes to dry off. Remember, your battery is disconnected here, so there's no real chance of frying anything, but at the same time, make sure your car is completely dry before you reattach your battery. Okay, the area is now nice and clean. It's now time to take off the cam sensor. So to do this is really simple. Simply unhook the retaining clip, pull it out and slide the connector back and out of the way. With that done, simply undo this 10mm bolt and pull out the sensor. Now just take a look at my old sensor. As you can see, it's covered in oil and the rubber O-ring that holds the sensor in has gone flat. Just compare that to my new sensor where you can see that the O-ring is rounded. Now if you're confident that your cam sensor is okay, you could simply replace this O-ring alone, but my car had slight idling issues, so I'm not taking any risks and replacing this whole sensor just in case. It's a cheap part, so it's worth replacing if your sensor is old like mine. I'll leave a link for this sensor in the description below. So to put the new sensor in, make sure you clean out the area first to help the new O-ring seal properly. Just lubricate the O-ring slightly if you find that yours has trouble sliding in. With the sensor in, go ahead and put the 10mm bolt back in and use a torque wrench to set at 20 Nm to tighten up the sensor. Okay, with our sensor in, it's time to put the distributor back on. So let's go ahead and clean the distributor of any oil. Do the same for the bracket and reattach both to the car. These bolts are going into an alloy head, so make sure you do them up snug but not too tight. You don't want to run the risk of these bolts damaging your head. Let's plug the HT leads back into the distributor, again taking note of which terminal the leads plug into. Then reattach the connector to the distributor and your final steps will be to reattach your airbox. The link is above if you need to see how to do this, and reattach your battery box and battery. Link above if you need to see how to do this. And with that, we are done in the engine bay, looking clean and oil free. Let's go and start the car up to see if we're good to go. Turn your key to the second position and let your car initialize before cranking the engine. Remember that your battery has been disconnected for a while, so wait about 30 seconds to let all the systems start back up, then go ahead and crank the engine. And looking at the idle, it's nice and smooth, so our job is done here. So there you go guys, wasn't that hard was it? Camshaft position sensor, done. All in all, it probably took about an hour, a little bit more with all the cleaning I had to do, but you probably won't need to do that, or if you don't want to do that, you could probably get this job done in 15-20 minutes to be honest. I hope you liked the video, and this channel is all about car DIY videos that you can do at home. I want to show that you don't need fancy equipment or, you know, friends with 20 years mechanical experience to have fun working on your cars. Basically, just have a go. I'm learning a lot by doing these videos and I hope you're enjoying the journey. I've got a lot of plans for this little car. After all the mechanical stuff is sorted out, I'll probably get to the cosmetics, you know, I'll do a bit of paint work, restore the headlights, I'll lower it and all that kind of stuff, and then I might even get to modify it. We'll see where that goes. But I would highly recommend that you guys who want to learn how to work on cars, start with an entry-level car like this. Something cheap that you're not too worried about. This was a $1,000 car when I bought it, and I bought it specifically for the reason of making these videos. I wanted to learn more about working on cars, and I hope you're enjoying the adventure that we're all going on. You know, I'm learning along the way, and I hope that you're learning along with me as well, and that I'm giving you the confidence to work on your cars at home. I'm having a lot of fun, I'm learning a lot, and I hope that you guys are too. So yeah, look, subscribe to the channel and click the bell if you want to see more. There's definitely more coming on this car, and I will be doing other cars in the future as well. My journey here has just begun, and I hope you come along for the ride. I want to thank you for watching the video. That oil leak is now sorted. I'll keep an eye on it for the next week or so to see whether the leak appears again. If it does, it wasn't the camshaft sensor, it's something else over there, but I'm pretty sure that's what it was. Next we'll be fixing the thermostat housing, so getting the coolant leak sorted out, and then it's the power steering pump. I'm a little bit nervous about that one because the power steering system is very high pressure, so I'm gonna have to get it just right. So yeah, we'll see how that one goes, but it is coming. So if you want to see those videos, yeah, make sure you subscribe, and if you like what you saw today, click the like button. It tells me that I'm doing a good job and I should keep going. So with that all said, thank you for being here today. I hope you learned something today like I have, but enough chit chat. Go ahead and try this yourself on your car.